Cities have always been a muse to the artist, be it in the form of a story, a painting, a song, or a movie. The landscape, the people, the skyline, or even just a small home in the middle of a buzzing city has inspired cinema and the cinema makers greatly. There have been so many occasions where cities have played a pivotal role in many movies, be it the exquisite Paris montage by the genius Woody Allen in Midnight in Paris, or be it the villages, trains and sceneries of India in the Darjeeling Limited by Wes Anderson, or even closer back home in Angamali Diaries where Lijo Jose Pellicer showcased the rustic streets of Kerala in his fast-paced, compact and engaging story. In short, handled aesthetically, the location becomes the character of a story and thereby elevates the cinematic essence of a movie. Today, we wish to look at the city of Kolkata and how it has worked across as an inspiration to many filmmakers, and our pick of 5 best films which have captured the many faces of Kolkata and how the city becomes a part of the narrative structure. At number 5 on our list, we have Chippa by Safdar Rahman, a delightfully real portrayal of Kolkata through the eyes of its 10-year-old protagonist. Chippa captures the Kolkata and not the Kolkata or Calcutta through its narrative. The Kolkata of the migrants who speak a combination of Bhojpuri, Hindi and Bengali, creating a dialect of their own. Chippa focuses on the underbelly of the so-called city of intellectuals and poets. The people who actually run the city, the rickshaw puller, the taxi with the garden on its roof, the late night tea stall. The night of Kolkata has rarely been captured so vividly. The movie feels like a love letter of Safdar Rahman to his favorite city. Although a children's film at its heart, the movie contains valuable lessons of empathy and love even for the adults. Let me rephrase that, mostly for the adults. At number 4 in our list of movies which have captured the city of Calcutta in all its glory is the movie Badi Theke Paliye by one of India's pioneer directors, Ritwik Ghatak. Badi Theke Paliye is set in the aftermath of partition, explored through the eyes of a boy who escapes his home for some respite from his staunch and conservative father and comes to Calcutta. Ghatak captures the city from the eyes of his young protagonist like no other. As Kanchon walks through the streets, he observes how relentless and beautiful the city can be at the same time. With bridges, cars, big buildings standing in all their glory, in contrast to the constant smoke coming out of factories, people begging on the roads, stray animals moving everywhere. Ghatak brings out the contradiction of the grand old Calcutta. Watch out for the scenes of sunrise across the Howrah Bridge, the Hooghly River, with ferries moving all along, and the people going about their businesses from dawn to dusk. With charismatic background music, Badi Theke Paliye is a way of experiencing Kolkata like never before and rarely after. At number 3 on our list, we have the Vidya Balan starrer Kahani, directed by Sujoy Ghosh. Kahani is a well-shot, pacey, edge-of-the-seat thriller based out in the city of Kolkata, where the protagonist Vidya or Bidda comes to search for a husband. It is no exaggeration to say that Kahani captures the essence of Kolkata like only a few have done before. The bustling streets, the street vendors, the yellow taxis, the crowded metro stations are all captured with great panache, giving us viewers a sense of anxiety for the protagonist's safety. On the other hand, the tram sequences, which are slow and serene, give you a nostalgia of the olden days of Calcutta. Kahani, like most other mainstream Hindi films, does not indulge in only the popular signatures of Kolkata like Victoria Memorial or the protagonists eating fuchka. Instead, it gets into the remote outskirts of the city, inside dusty police stations, and as for signature, Kahani uses the Kolkata Durga Pujo as the premise of its climax and beautifully overlaps the story with mythology. And then, the out-of-the-world performance by Shashwat Chatterjee as Bob Bishash that gives you goosebumps. In fact, Bob, the clerk from the insurance company, feels like an evil manifestation of the city itself, a smiling face that is out to get us. What a riveting movie capturing a riveting city at its very best. At number 2 on our list, we have Once Upon a Time in Calcutta by director Aditya Bikram Sengupta. There are movies which can capture a city through cinematography, and then there are movies which can capture the spirit of a city. Aditya Bikram, through his movie, is able to capture the remnants of a dying city. A city where astrology shows rule the roost on television. A city where poor, innocent people are cheated through Ponzi schemes, and a city which can no more afford its traditional ways of survival and also is not in terms with living on the edge. A city which remains in its nostalgia as everything around it eats it away. The beautiful and strange melancholy of this movie breaks one's heart as one looks at the city through the brilliant cinematography of Gokhan Teriyaki. Aditya Bikram's Kolkata is probably the most political and real depiction of the city we have seen in decades. What a film, what a concept. Well, we definitely intend to talk more details about the film on the channel. Stay tuned on Filmkopat for a full review of Once Upon a Time in Calcutta and also our interview with director Aditya Bikram Sengupta. Before revealing our number one film on Kolkata, we have a couple of special mentions. Born into Brothels is an Academy Award-winning documentary by photographer Zana Brisky. Zana captures the world of the children of Sonagachi, the infamous brothels of Kolkata. She teaches the children photography so the kids could document their own lives on the streets of Kolkata. Zana brilliantly captures the situation of Indian women who stay and work as prostitutes at Sonagachi in their dilapidated homes, unsanitary streets, with their children who are still unaware of the reality of their situation. Zana, however, brings a new lease of life to these children by giving them cameras who capture the city, creating astonishing results. Born in Brothels is a stunning film, something which will melt you away as you get to watch these real children achieving unreal feats in the most challenging of circumstances. Our second special mention is a short film by Indranil Roy Chaudhary named Bhalavasha Shahar. Based on the well-known premise of a love story between two people belonging to different communities, Bhalavasha Shahar turns on its head when it brings in its narrative the ongoing Syrian conflict between the two lovers. At its heart, an anti-war film, the movie with its exquisite cinematography, music and acting captures the life of a lower middle-class married woman in Kolkata who raises a child alone in the city. This shot feels magical and real at the same time, with this duality running across the film. In its short runtime of 30 minutes, Bhalavasha Shahar gives you an experience which full-length films rarely provide in 150 minutes. Watch out for the last scene, which is sure to give you goosebumps. You can watch the film on YouTube with English subtitles. Finally, it's time to reveal our top pick for the movies which have best captured Kolkata in their narrative. Some of you might have already guessed it. We are talking about Jono Orono by the master author Satyajit Ray. Part of the Calcutta trilogy by Ray, Jono Orono is an angry film. Ray shows us the real face of Kolkata through the eyes of his protagonist, a young unemployed man looking for a job in the city. Jono Orono is not an easy film to talk about as it has so many different facets to it. The corruption in our education, the dishonesty in our businesses, the lost love in our families, all this surrounding the ever-running fast Kolkata where people don't even look at you if you're not someone who they can take advantage of. The city which engulfs you into its whirlwind desires and leaves you alone, desolate and nonchalant, as Somnath realizes in one evening moving across the length of the city. Jono Orono, together with Pratidwandi and Shima Bodho, is perhaps one of the finest tributes by a filmmaker to his city of abode, to which anyone connected to the city of joy will always be indebted to Ray. Do watch our discussion on Jono Orono with screenwriter Varun Grover, where he helps us decode the film. That is all for today, folks. Hope you liked the video. If you liked it, do leave us a comment and like the content. Thank you so much.